Hey, before we get into this video, I just want to let you guys know if you want to continue to see my work on this channel every single day, multiple times per day, be sure to check out patreon.com/Nintendo Prime for as little as $1 a month. You can show support for my work and ensure that I can continue to do what I do on the daily. That being said, let's get into this story. It deals with Ninja. I don't know if you guys know who he is. It's kind of impossible to be on the internet and be a gamer and not be at least vaguely aware or at least have heard of him. He is a Twitch streamer who has become increasingly popular, and I believe at this moment he is the #1 most popular streamer in the world. It was Dr. Disrespect for a little bit, and then Ninja quickly surpassed him after doing a live stream of Fortnite with Drake, you know, the rapper, artist, singer. I'm not even sure. I've heard some of his music before. I think he's just a rapper. That being said, he was interviewed by Polygon, and I don't really like talking about Polygon for my own personal reasons, but when they have some good content, it's good to call it out. We'll put a link down to the interview so you can hear everything else Ninja had to say. But he actually talked about cross-platform play. He talked about Sony and Nintendo. And, well, it's very interesting what he had to say, and he gives Nintendo a lot of props. So here's what he had to say about Sony's lack of support for cross-platform play. He says, "It's so bad. I mean, like, obviously I love Sony. I love PlayStation. I've been playing them my entire life. But when push comes to shove, it's a business decision. There's a reason they're not allowing players on the PlayStation to play with Xbox, and I mean, it's just greed." Obviously, we know that, you know, it's been an issue dating back to at least the middle of last year when Sony said, you know, things like they need to protect the children on why Minecraft can't be cross-platform play, even though it's a Microsoft-owned game. So shouldn't Microsoft worry about that? And then you're also saying Nintendo and Microsoft don't know how to protect kids online. It's a big cluster F if you're asking me. But Nintendo has obviously been supporting crossplay pretty much extensively when it comes to Switch. They have yet, as far as we're aware, to say no to any developer who wants to do cross-platform play. They have encouraged it. Obviously, Fortnite's one of those games that's cross-platform play, hence even asking Ninja about it, as he's the most popular streamer in the world, and he obviously got super, super popular. He's been a professional gamer for a while, but he really blew up with Fortnite. So here's what he had to say about Nintendo and the moves they are making in the online space, especially with crossplay. And he said, "Nintendo is definitely coming around finally. And this is a huge stepping stone in the Nintendo scene. The fact that they are allowing cross-platform, I just don't like that there's anything being withheld. In 2018, everyone should be able to play with everyone. And all I can say is amen to that, Ninja." I don't know the guy. I don't watch his streams. I can't really say anything about him as a person or as a streamer. I don't care if you guys like him, but he's obviously a big representation of the video game community with how popular his streams are and how many gamers watch him and how much the media obviously pays attention to the guy. I know he was at E3 at the Fortnite booth. I didn't actually go to the Fortnite booth. I saw the booth. I never really entered it. So any opportunity I had to meet him was kind of lost there unless I somehow bumped into him on the show floor. And good luck. His celebrity is pretty huge. Probably had some security and was going back doors around E3. But that being said, it's really interesting to see the most popular gamer in the world anyways essentially say it's really bad that Sony's not doing it. It's about greed. And that Nintendo is actually ahead of Sony on something that has to do with online services. And that is cross-platform play. It is one of the major credits I have to give to Nintendo. I've been critical of them putting voice chat through the online app. I've been critical of launching a paid online service a year and a half into the Switch's system. I've been critical of not offering enough in that service to justify it. I get the NES games is really, really cool. I think that could be a separate service. I don't think you need to tie that with online play, but then, you know, they're trying to maximize how many people will subscribe. They already are going to get me because I'm a YouTuber and I really love playing online games and whatever. I already pay for Xbox Live. Be kind of hypocritical for me to be like, oh, I'm willing to pay for Xbox Live and I'm not willing to pay for Nintendo's even though it's cheaper. Like, okay, whatever. And Nintendo does need to step their game up, and I have a lot of criticisms over, you know, what they have and what they don't have online. What else is happening with the app? Are we getting more than NES games? Are we Are you going to start supporting local voice chat with your games, or are you going to still force people to use the online app, even though Fortnite proved that you allow developers to have online voice chat? Anyways, it's neither here nor there. There's a whole bunch of stuff, messaging systems, lobbies, a ton of things we could talk about that Nintendo is still way behind with. Heck, streaming services, Netflix, YouTube, whatever. We could talk about a zillion things Nintendo isn't doing right with their Nintendo Online service, but Ninja's focusing on the one thing they are doing right, and that is cross-platform play. It is supposedly, based on what we've heard from developers that have done it and have even accidentally enabled it on PlayStation 4 before Sony caught wind, is that it's very easy. It's like a line of code. It's like a line of code, and boom, cross-platform play works on basically all the major platforms from PC, Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. And I think that's great. I think he's speaking truth here. Cross-platform play is something that just should exist with all games. I know Paladins, as an example, they're waiting for Sony to support it. They're looking into supporting it on all platforms, but they want Sony to jump in. Sony probably has the biggest player base for Paladins, and they probably want to bring that and shift it over to all the other platforms. It would actually make a lot of sense. I actually wish, I don't know if everyone out there knows this, but I'm playing Madden 19 on PC, and I wish that had cross-platform play. There's times I'm waiting 5, 6, 7 minutes to find an online match to play against someone, because obviously the PC audience is going to be small. The game hasn't been on PC in forever. It's going to take some time to rebuild that audience. I hope this isn't a one-off, and they decide to support PC moving forward, and obviously Switch. Come on. But what would really help with this online lobby situation is allowing cross-play with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm using an Xbox One controller anyways to play the game on PC. I wouldn't use a mouse and keyboard. It would actually give you a disadvantage for a game like Madden. But that's the thing. Like, cross-platform play is beneficial for gamers. I understand. We've talked about this for a while now, why Sony is doing it. As Ninja said, it is really just greed. It's that we have the biggest player base. We're gating it. You want to play with your friends who own PlayStation, you better buy a PlayStation. You can't play with them with an Xbox or a Switch. PC, there are some games they allow crossplay with PC, which is weird. Why wouldn't you make those people also buy a PlayStation? But maybe they don't view PC as a direct competitor. They probably figure if you're gaming on PC, you're gaming on PC. You're probably not going to buy a PlayStation 4 to play multi-platform games. But it's still... I want Sony to come around to this. I think what's key when you are the market leader is to remain the market leader, you need to continue to lead the market in being pro-consumer and pro-gamer. And that's really what cross-platform play is. I understand that Sony doesn't want to open their player base to allow, say, Switch Fortnite players to have even more people to play against and all this stuff. I understand why they do it, because they own a significant chunk of the market, and there's not really a game developer that's going to be like, oh, because they won't support cross-platform play, we won't bring their game there. But it's still such an anti-consumer and anti-gamer mood and such a greed move that I'm glad the largest gamer in the world is like, hey, look, I play games on PlayStation 4, but you know what? This is kind of crappy, and it's a little bit ironic because Nintendo's online has sucked for years, and here they are, one of the major new things happening out there, and they're very proactive with it. Anyways, I don't know. You guys just tell me what you think about this down in the comments below. About what Ninja had to say, your thoughts on crossplay. Are you glad Nintendo's being proactive with it? Do you wish Sony would just kind of get on board? I know Sony's talked about they're looking into it as if it's this like super hard thing to do. It really has nothing to do with them. It has to do with the people making the game. Nintendo literally just said thumbs up. You can do it on our platform. Nintendo themselves doesn't really have to do any of the work or any of the infrastructure to make it work. That's on the games. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing we find ourselves in. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Remember, folks, if you would like to see me continue to do these videos, be sure to head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. You can support us as little as $1 a month. We have other tiers on there for the podcast. You can be on an episode of the podcast for one of the tiers. I don't know. You guys can decide if you would like to come and support what we do. I do want to apologize again for not being on camera much lately. I am sick. I am working with a cold. Hopefully my voice is sounding okay here. I have these moments where I can kind of sort of speak okay before I start hacking at my lung. So, yeah, whatever. Enjoy the Fortnite gameplay. And this gameplay was recorded on Switch. So there you go. Have a good one, folks.